You're listening to KFWB News Talk 980. My name is Les Brown. I'm Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy, and we bring you a program Monday through Friday from 2 o'clock until 4 o'clock, and it is literally designed to build your mental resiliency, to offset the negatives that you encounter each and every day, and to create new possibilities in your life. And we engage you in conversations, and today we're going to be talking about relationships, relationship lessons, things that we can learn from each other, and we want you to become a part of that conversation, and we want to hear your story. There are some things that people want out of life, and some of the things that most people want is to find a great mate to have a long life relationship with. I think all of us will agree with that. Now, the stereotype, or that which is expected, is that the people believe that women are looking to bond and nest while men just want to play the fields for as long as they can. But recent research shows otherwise. Single men, for the most part, want to get married. The best time to approach men to get married? Well, some say between 21 and 24 and 50 and up. Also, studies are indicating that single women, they want to get married, but only to do so if it is improvement over their independence. Archaeologist Helen Fisher tells Time magazine women are much more interested in their independence than men are. They value certain parts of their single lives more than men do. Women are likelier to want to have their own bank accounts, their own interests, their own personal space, solo vacations, and even if they're in a committed relationship, they also care more about nights out with their friends. Now, sociologist Mark Regeneris says that women's enthusiasm for marriage has faded in the light of their growing economic independence. He says, for them more than men, marriage has to be good or it's not worth trading their newfound independence for it. When it comes to marriage, in general statistics, it shows that there are now more than 100 million single people in the United States, with households headed by married couples in the minority. Archaeologist Helen Fisher says it's just maybe that single people like being single. She states it's still carting around the concept that single people are, the people who believe that single people are workaholics and are desperate and they just can't get along with anyone. But she said the reality is that many of them just may be choosing to be single. I remember hearing a disc jockey in New York years ago who said it's better to be alone than to wish you were. And maybe a lot of single people like myself are thinking about that. So here's the life lessons we want to get today, and we want to talk to two groups. I wanted to hear from married people. And we need you to talk to the people that are single and out there looking for that special person. Here's the question: if you are married, here's the question: what do you look for in a mate that you know that's solid? These qualities, these characteristics that allowed you to find that the apple of your eye, to find your soulmate. How did you know that the person that you are now married to, that this was the guy or that she was the woman? How did you know? What was it about them? What would you advise somebody that's single, that's looking for someone and don't want to put up with a lot of crap and a lot of flaky behavior, but you can give them some coaching so that if you see these things, this one is a keeper? I want you to call. The number to call and share your insights from your wisdom, from your making some good choices. That number is 888-539-2980, 888-539-2980. How did you find the relationship, the dream of your life? Now, here's the other group. I want to talk to divorced people. Now, that's my group. I can talk to that. Now, I can speak up now. Okay, this is let me see what you want us to say. Okay, I'm ready. Okay, here's what we want y'all to say, Les. What is that? The divorce group, we want to know, what are the red flags to look for in a relationship when you see somebody, and you need to know this. If you see these things, now you know it's a red flag. You need to run immediately in the opposite direction. Okay, good. Well, it's called the radio host privilege. I'm going first. Let me tell you something. Here's what I want you to know. Just because they're beautiful don't mean that they got good sense. You know, a lot of people think because somebody's beautiful, they can't be crazy. Let me tell you something. Do you know there are some beautiful people that are crazy? I'm telling you, and handsome guys. My daughter was dating a guy. This guy's handsome. And he was a former policeman. Now, that she should have ran then, okay? I had to go. I had to go threaten this guy. I said, let me tell you something. Don't listen. If my daughter even, not if you hit her, but let me tell you something. Listen to me. I am crazy. Do you understand I'm crazy? And you will not intimidate my daughter. You will not threaten my daughter. She will not feel any danger in your presence. Understand me, please. You're looking at a crazy person. I'll go to jail for you. I mean, this guy's a former cop, and he was crazy and a handsome guy. He looked like he had good sense. And you know, judges, they really need to be schooled, called a halo effect. You know, when you take a beautiful person, an attractive person to court for the same crime that an ugly person commits, they will get probation. The ugly person, you going to jail because you ugly. I don't commit no crimes. I can't take no chances. But pretty people get away with murder. They get away with a lot of stuff because they are pretty. It's called the halo effect. Now, here's something else. If they are jealous, trust me on this, I don't care what you do, I don't care how many loops or hoops you flip through, you cannot change a jealous person. They are crazy, trust me. They're crazy. Run, leave, you can't change them. Here's something else. Well, hold a minute. I got guests, I got people calling. I don't need to take all the time just because it's my show. Okay, all right, I'll be good, huh? You can tell I'm very passionate about this topic today. So we're talking to two groups. We're talking to married people. How did you know that was your soulmate? How did you know when you saw them, you became very spiritual and say, the Lord is my shepherd. I see what I want. How did you know that was the one? We want you to call and coach the single people that are looking for the right one. That number to call is 888-539-2980. And if you are divorced like myself, what are some of the things that if you know, it's called delayed enlightenment. You just didn't know then. But if you knew then what you know now, you would not have done that. I got some more. Don't you go anywhere because I'm going to help you out. Call right now. The number to call, this is for the divorced people. We got the same number for you, too. 888-539-2980. I need some help. I don't know. I told them before I came on the air today, I said, are you sure I don't need my medication? No, you'll be just fine. Whatever. So my name is Les Brown. I'm Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy. We come your way Monday through Friday from 2 o'clock until 4 o'clock, and we will motivate you. We will inspire you. You will laugh. You will have a good time. But most of all, we like to hear from you. We love to hear your story. So I'm encouraging you and inviting you to call right now. The number to call is 888-539-2980. And you're listening to KFWB News Talk 980. You're listening to KFWB News Talk 980. My name is Les Brown. I'm Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy, and we want to thank you so much for joining us. And this is a program that we engage in conversations on a variety of topics dealing with life to give you some tools, to give you some insights and some breakthroughs on how to deal with relationships, how to live your dreams, and how to take your life to the next level. And today we're talking about relationships, and we want to hear from two groups. We want to hear from married people. How did you know that person that you decided to marry, that was the one? What are the three qualities that you know if a person can get those going for them, then that they have a good chance of having a successful marriage and having a good mate, a good match? All right. The other one, the divorced people. That's my group. And we want to tell you things to look for that these are people to stay away from, that you don't want to do that. You if they have these qualities, you want to run as fast as you can. And I want to thank Xavier for calling. Thank you, Xavier from San Bernardino. Where are you from, Xavier?
My name is Javier.
Javier. My apologies. California. Excuse me. My apologies. You know what? I have my glasses on, but they're not prescription glasses. These are the ones you just get out of the drugstore. Okay. Thank you, Javier. Problem. Thank you so much for calling. Now, tell me, are you married or are you divorced?
I'm married.
You're married. Okay, so you can speak for the people who are looking for that mate. What are 3 things that you saw in your wife that you said, this is the one?
Well, first, what you have to look at, Les, is you have to see how your spouse treats their parents.
Oh, yes.
That is very important.
You're right. How they treat their parents.
Correct.
Okay.
Because if they're not treating their parents well, more likely we're going to have some problems later on in that relationship.
Okay, good. Okay, what's another one?
The second is there has to be trust in the relationship.
Trust, okay.
There has to be trust in the relationship. If your fiance is tugging at you at the store saying, what are you looking at? And the only thing you're looking at is you're thinking about how much you're spending, then there's a big red flag there.
Right. Okay. And
every time that you go to the store, you're going to get pinched.
That's right. Yes. Okay. I've been through that already, Javier. You're right. You know what you're talking about. You can write a book on this. And what's number 3?
The other thing is, if you go to church, talk to your pastor.
Okay. So if you go to church, you want to get somebody that's involved in church that has some sense of spirituality, right?
Right. And then, of course, knowing that, I am an associate pastor.
Yes.
You have to take heed to your leadership, because they may see a quality in that person that maybe not be compatible to you, and there could be some danger in that relationship. And if you've been called to ministry, it could interfere in your call with God.
Okay. Fantastic. How long have you been married, Javier?
10 years, going on 11 now.
Okay, listen, I want to ask you one question before we go. What's the most difficult part of being married that you have experienced?
The most difficult part is when you first get married, getting to know one another. It's really nice when you're dating, and I try to remind myself, open the door, be kind, buy some flowers. When you first start off in a relationship, you do those things. When you're dating, you go out and maybe you bring some flowers, and you open the door, you open the restaurant door. And it seems like once you get married, after a few years, you're like saying, hey, listen, it's your turn to open the door. And so there's a period of time, I believe that the first 5 years of the relationship are the most drastic years. You're getting to know one another. You're getting to know each other on the things that you like and dislike, more intense than when you were dating.
But you're also saying that the same thing.
Yes. To be real careful.
But the other thing that you're saying, Javier, and pardon me for interrupting you, is that the same thing that it took to get that woman, it's going to take the same thing to keep that woman, to do the maintenance on the relationship. Am I correct?
Well put.
Yes,
Very
sir.
well put.
Listen, I want to thank you so much for listening, and thank you for your input, and may you have many more years of happiness and love and great health together, okay?
Thank you very much.
I appreciate you so much for listening. Thank you. Listen, that's some good advice, what Javier just left with us. He said, first of all, he said, you got to watch how they treat their parents. That will give you good indication. And trust is very important. And go to church with them. Make sure they have some level of spirituality about them, and get some coaching and direction and insights from your pastor if this is the right person. Felicia, hello. Thank you so much for calling in from Los Angeles. Now, are you married or you divorced?
I'm married.
You're married. How many years have you been married, Felicia?
I have been married to my husband for 6 months. However, this is our second marriage.
Okay, you've been married for 6 months, and so you can talk on both areas, the being married now for 6 months and divorce. How long were you married the first time you were married?
Oh, about 10 years.
10 years, okay. Now, let's speak on your deciding the second time around, because now you have a greater level of maturity, and you know some things you did not know when you got married the first time. Otherwise, you'd still be married to the same person. So what would you say? What did you look at, and what did you see in the person that you're now married to that you said, I'm going to do this again?
Well, what I saw in my husband, he also wants to speak if you allow him to.
Oh, absolutely.
That, being well-rounded.
What do you mean by be well-rounded? What do you mean by that?
Just a man of many facets in terms of just his overall spirituality, being rooted, having a true sense of self, having an understanding and appreciation for family, how he treats his parents, his children, and how he treats his lover, his woman, and that would be me. That was very important.
Yes. Okay, fantastic. Now, what is his name?
His name's Damone.
Let me speak to Damone.
Yes.
Let me talk to Damone. Okay, very good. This is good. Hey, Damone, is this your first marriage or your second marriage?
My second.
Your second? How long were you married the first time?
16 years.
16 years, and you've been together now. You've been married for 6 months. How did you know that this was the woman? That this, that you didn't make it work the first time, but when you saw Felicia, you were looking for something. And what were those 3 qualities that you saw in her?
I saw a sense of humor.
Okay.
She laughed at my jokes.
Oh, okay. Even if they're corny, she laughs at these jokes. Okay.
That's right. And she still laughs at them 6 months later.
Okay. All right. Okay. Come on now. That's what I'm talking about. Okay.
That's right.
And what's number 2?
Number 2 was we have a saying, clear, concise communication. 3 C's. So we're still clear, concise, and communicating. Nothing has changed since our dating phase and our marriage phase.
Good. And what's number 3?
And number 3 is our blending of our families, because we have a blended family. So it's also important that,
and that is not easy.
Her family. That's not easy at all. That's very tough, Les.
Yes, I know. That's real tough. Okay, when you look at now, both of you can speak to the other side too. What is it that you learn from that relationship you first were involved in for 16 years that you would say to people who are looking for a mate, that here's something that you want, if you want to be with somebody, because this time, this is for life. This is it for you and Felicia. There will not be a third time.
That's correct.
Very good. All right. Now, and we see that for you, and we're speaking for that. Okay. What is it that a person should avoid and look and go the other way? And the delayed enlightenment that you didn't see, but you saw and you lived with for a while, and then you finally said, I can't do this anymore.
Well, first thing is that, the big stuff in marriages will take care of themselves. It's the little things that you must work at. You follow what I'm saying?
Yes.
I mean, houses, cars, all the material stuff, all the things in life, the big stuff will take care of themselves. It's the little stuff that you have to pay attention with your spouse.
Give me an example of little things that can kill a relationship if you don't attend to it. The termites.
Exactly, the termites. Little things is that if your spouse likes flowers, give her flowers. If your spouse likes little notes because women are emotional creatures. Men are not. Women are emotional creatures, so we have to cater to that emotional side.
Yes.
And men sort of forget that after so many years of marriage. We sort of forget that they're emotional creatures, and we must cater to that, Les. We have to.
Okay.
We want to continue that.
All right. Let me talk back to Felicia for a minute. And both of you are so cooperative. Felicia?
Yes.
Don't go anywhere. I've got to do a commercial. I'll be right back. But you guys are just great. You're making my work very easy today. Hold it for just a moment. I'll be right with you, okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for your patience. And listen, we're talking to 2 groups. I want to talk to people that found their significant other, that found their life mate, your soul mate, the person that you married. And what is it you saw in them? And the people that are divorced like myself, what is it you need to run away from if you see that? We've been talking about relationships, but before I go there, listen, I want you to listen very closely. Don't go anywhere because I have a special announcement at the top of the hour. I have some great news for those of you who are hoping to get tickets for an evening with Dave Ramsey. And as you know, I'm opening for Dave Ramsey. I get a chance to speak. You get a chance to see me live and in person in my element. Yes, indeed. This is my element, too. It takes place at the Alex Theater in Glendale tomorrow night. And so we have some great news for you for tickets. So just stick around and listen. That will be coming at the top of the hour. Now, we've been talking with people that are married and people that are divorced. We want some advice from people that are married. What did you look for in a mate when you found that person? And people who have divorced, what are the things that you need to avoid? That when you see these signs, it's a red flag and you need to run. And I've been very fortunate to talk to a couple that both of them have been married, one 10 years, the other one for what? How many years? What, Felicia? You were married the first time. How many years? Felicia, are you there? And let me see, Felicia, they've been married. Felicia and Damone have been married for 6 months now, and this is their second time around. And the last time, and so they've talked about some good advice on what to look for in a mate, but also some things that you need to avoid. That if you see this, it's a red flag that you don't need to go up in there. You don't need to have a relationship with this person. Felicia, are you there? Okay, I pushed it and I got enough. Felicia, hello, Felicia.
Yes, hi.
Okay, yes, Felicia, first of all, thank you for your patience. Now, what is it that you would warn people against? If you see this, you'll say, no, that's not the one. There's some red flags that you would warn people about who are looking for a relationship.
Oh, wow. The main one for me, and I think this would be relevant for many women, to see how he treats his mother. Mm-hmm. And if he respects his mother and treats her the way a woman should be treated, that's a good sign. And if he doesn't, and he has no respect for his mother, then it'd be hard for him to respect you as a woman, as his wife, and the mother of his children, if you are a mom of his kids, or even your kids.
Okay, well, listen, you and Damone have 6 months behind you and all of the future before you. May you have many years of love, happiness, and good health and a great relationship and marriage together, okay?
Thank you very much.
And thank you so much for listening to the program.
Oh, thank you. Have a great day.
Okay, you too. You know, it's really good to hear people to share this kind of experience, particularly these newlyweds here. They've been just up in there 6 months, but they're veterans. They know what they're looking for and gave some solid advice. Hello, Reggie. How are you? Reggie, thank you so much for calling in and being a part of the program. Are you married, Reggie, or are you divorced?
I am married, and
okay.
I have been married for 20 years.
20 years. What is your husband's name?
Robert.
Robert, and is your name really Reggie?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Now, how did you know Robert was the one?
Let me tell you, we have a 6-year difference. And so, I'm much older. I already had that sort of motherly instinct in me.
Yes.
And he was 22 years old then. So you would think a 22-year-old would be sort of careless and clumsy and kind of carefree. Well, Robert was a true gentleman. Mm-hmm. He's funny and everything, but he was a true gentleman. He was always kind to me. And then on our dates, he made sure that it's not always him and me, him and me. He would take me to his family. He would introduce me to his uncles, mom, dad. You can tell there's so much love and respect in that family, and that was the number one bonus for me. I felt that he was sincere, and I can trust him because he's not hiding anything. He's not scared to introduce me to his family.
Absolutely,
you know?
Yes.
He's not. You can tell it's not all about just sex, or you know what I'm saying? It's just he really took the time to introduce me to all his relatives.
And when you got a chance to see from whence he came, then you said, okay, this is a good fit for me because there's a lot of love here, and he's being transparent and very open and involving you with his family.
Absolutely, and to those people, I don't know what teenagers are made of nowadays. It seemed like the farther away the guy is removed from his family, seem like it's better. I mean, that is a red flag right there. Uh-huh. He doesn't want to introduce you to the family. He doesn't want to let you know his whereabouts. That is a serious flag.
Yeah, but they're not serious.
Everything was full disclosure, transparent.
Fantastic. Well, listen, thank you for calling in and sharing your story, and thank you for listening.
Thank you.
All right, appreciate you. Bye-bye. Okay, I want to talk to Annette. Annette, thank you so much for calling in. Annette, you're in Long Beach. Oops, I lost her. All right, sometimes it happens when people on cell phones. When you think about the people that call in, and we got some good advice here. And one of the things they've said, they look for, if you're looking for that right person, and Javier said, hey, man, how she treats her parents. Make sure the person that you're looking at, you want to be around them and their family, as Reggie talked about, and see how they treat their parents. That'd give you a very good indication how they would treat you. He also talked about the fact that them being involved in church and getting some counseling and advice from the pastor. Is this a good fit for the two of you? And he said the most difficult thing about the first years of marriage is getting to know each other the first 5 years. Felicia and Damone, who both she had been married for 10 years, years, and Damone had been married for 16 years. She said, what I love about Damone, he's well-rounded and had a sense of spirituality and a true sense of who he was, and he's fun to be with, and she laughs at his corny jokes, but she didn't say they were corny, I did. Okay, and Damone liked that in her, and he said that was major, the foundation of their marriage. The 3 C's: clear, concise communication. Clear, concise communication, and blended families. They work at it. Those families blending and working together. We're getting advice from people that are married successfully and telling us the things to look for in a mate if you want somebody that you want to be with for the rest of your life, and divorced people who are giving you some advice of who to stay away from. And one of the things I said at the top of the hour, just because somebody's handsome or somebody's beautiful does not mean that they are normal. That beautiful people can be crazy. I have a friend who said, Les, he said, let me tell you something. He said, I was dating this woman. She looked like a supermodel. She was 6'1". He said she was fine. She was fine. He said, I broke up with her, and I used to leave my door unlocked. She came to the house, and she said, if I can't have you, can't nobody have you. And she pulled out a big butcher knife. I said, what did you do? He said, I calmed myself. He said, I just restrained myself. And I said, what would your mother say about this? And she said, oh. And he said, well, number one, he now locked his doors. But he said, you are right. Let me tell you something. She was supermodel crazy. There are some crazy people who are very beautiful, very attractive, and you would think, come on. Yeah. Crazy people, they come in all ways. They come in all kind of looks and shapes. And that, I think you got some experience with that. Don't judge a book by its cover. And that, talk to us about that. What is your story?
Well, most of the men that I had dated were based on looks. And then I would get to know them later and find that they were not compatible with me. And, at one point I got pregnant at 25 and ended up raising my daughter by myself because that relationship didn't work. And I based it all on his good looks.
Yes.
And then I kind of lost faith in finding a mate, and I thought I was going to be single for the rest of my life. And so my daughter is now 17, and about a year ago, I decided to sign up for eHarmony, and I was on it for 3 months, and it wasn't successful for me, and I wasn't getting the rate of return that I had expected.
Yes.
So I quit for a month. And then my daughter talked me into going back on. She goes, you got to give it at least 6 months. And I said, okay. So I went back on, and within less than a month, I got matched with my husband. And I wasn't really interested in his looks. I loved what he had to say in his profile, and we matched with everything, our belief systems. And so I gave him a chance. And when I first met him, I said, oh, he'll be a good friend. I'm not really interested in him. He's not, I wasn't interested in his looks. And so we hung out for a little bit, and as time went on, we emailed, corresponded back and forth. After 5 weeks of actually in-person dating, we got married.
Wow. And how long have you been married now?
We just came upon our 1-year anniversary on March 11th.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. All my friends thought I was crazy.
Yes.
Every single one of them.
Well, you know what? First of all, I want to thank you in behalf of all the homely people, because we deserve to get married too. And I want to just thank you in behalf of all of us that people should just look past us because of look. It was the Temptations. They had a song that said, beauty is only skin deep. You remember that song years ago? But maybe you're too young to remember that. Okay, well, thank you. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
All right.
I appreciate the call. Thanks.
Listen, I appreciate you calling in. And what is his name?
His name's Jason, and he's the best thing that ever happened to me next to my daughter.
Okay, fantastic. Hey, listen, Jason, you got it going on. Hey, man, you and I are homies, all right? We got something in common. Thank you very kindly. Take care now.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
All right, that's good news. Listen, here's something by Zsa Zsa Gabor. She said, I'm an excellent housekeeper. Every time I get a divorce, I keep the house. Oh, boy, we lost an icon today. Elizabeth Taylor. Elizabeth Taylor, speaking on relationships, she said, I'm a very committed wife, and I should be committed, too, for being married so many times. I know that's right. Oh, she was special. She was a special lady. Yes, she was. When we begin to look at things today in relationships, some of the good advice that we receive from Felicia and Damone, but also from Reggie and Robert, who've been together for 20 years. He was 22, she was 28, but he was a gentleman, she said, and he was funny, and he was a family man, and he took me around his family. He was very transparent, and I felt I can trust him. We want relationships with people that we can trust, and people that come out of a good household in terms of love and togetherness, and also he treated her like she was a lady, and I admire that quality in him that she talked about, but also the thing that Damone talked about, clear, concise communication. That's a keeper in a relationship. And things to stay away from? Well, just because a person is attractive don't mean that they're a good candidate to get married to. Beauty is only skin deep, as the Temptation said. And if they're jealous and insecure, don't try and fix them. Trust me on that. It's a full-time job trying to fix yourself. And the other thing that you must look at is that this person, can you trust them? Can you believe in them? If you catch them in a lie and they try and pretend that you are blind, that you didn't see what you saw, trust me on this, avoid them. Run in the opposite direction. Now, I mentioned earlier, we have some good news for you. And the good news is this. The great news that we have, for those of you that have been hoping to get tickets for an evening with Dave Ramsey at the Alex Theater in Glendale tomorrow night. Well, I've been eating hot pepper on a fork, just getting ready for the occasion because I opened for Dave. I'm so honored to be there. I'll be opening up to speak tomorrow in Glendale. And so for those of you, as many of you know, Dave's special guest will be me, and a very limited choice seats have just been released. That's right, you heard correctly. A very limited, did you hear limited? Limited choice seats have been released and now available through the Alex Theater box office or online at DaveRamsey.com/LA. DaveRamsey.com/LA. Don't wait, because there are less than 20 tickets. Less than 20. Did I tell you 20? Less than 20 tickets are available. So you want to do that now. You want to go online and get those tickets, and I guarantee you, when you come, not only will you learn how to begin to stretch your money and to save your money and learn methods and techniques and how to develop your leadership skills, but you'll get a larger vision of yourself, and I'll share with you strategies on how you can become an effective communicator and how you can live your dreams and get unstuck and begin to take your life to the next level. So if you want to be there, this is your chance right now. Go call the Alex Theater box office, or go online, DaveRamsey.com/LA, DaveRamsey.com/LA. Now, in the next hour, we're going to talk about something. I saw this online. It was online, and it made me sick to my stomach. We've talked about the Good Samaritan, a fight that was provoked and encouraged and instigated by the mother of a teenager and another young man. We're going to give you some information on this, and that's what we're going to talk about in the next hour. And it's a conversation that we want you to be a part of. So don't go anywhere. Stay right there. I want to keep this in mind. Here's a thought for today. As you look at your life, look at your goals, and look at your dreams, always ask audiences, have you done all you can do? And most of the time they say no. Well, A.L. Williams said, all you can do is all you can do, and all you can do is enough. But make sure you do all you can do. So, in other words, if you got a goal, you got a dream you want to achieve, make sure you go all out. Don't leave nothing on the table. Take no prisoners and eat the wounded.